Hey everybody, Greg Rath here from Rath Associates, your friendly rep in the New York City tri-state region for plumbing and heating equipment. In today's podcast video, we're going to be talking about the new DOE requirements that are going into effect just about a year from now in October of 2026. And this is one that's requiring high efficiency equipment for all new and retrofit commercial water heaters. So this is going to be a pretty big change to the industry. And, I only know so much about it myself. So what I've done is I've asked John Brody from Laars to come on with us today. And John's going to go over a bit of the details of this, give us a little bit of the nuance, but also discuss just what a engineer or developer, property manager, whoever, can do to kind of overcome this. Maybe there's different workarounds. So we're going to talk with John about that today. John, thanks for coming on.
Hey, afternoon, Greg. Thanks for being here. Inviting me, rather, I should say. But John Brody with Laars Heating Systems. I'm the Senior Director of Sales for Laars. As folks probably know, we're a full-line manufacturer from residential to commercial products, but excited to talk to you about some changes the Department of Energy is putting on us all here later in 2026.
Yeah, all right, perfect, man. So, like I said, this is seems like just a pretty major change. I don't know what to even make of it. So, first of all, is this? Let me ask you this: is this commercial water heaters in general? Is it gas only? Is it propane in effect? Or give me a little bit more detail.
Yeah, perfect. Well, let's start with really rolling out what the standard change is. So, the Department of Energy is rolling out a massive change for gas-fired equipment to take minimum efficiencies that today are 80% thermal efficiency and jacking that all the way up to 95% thermal efficiency. And like you mentioned earlier a couple times, this is for commercial water heating only. It doesn't affect domestic, or rather it is domestic hot water, does not affect hydronic heating for space heating.
Wow. I mean, so this is, how are they implementing this? Are they is it, if I've got something on the shelf, is that okay? How are they?
Yeah. So the basic, great question. The way this is being implemented and controlled, basically, it doesn't mean if you've got an 80% water heater in your house or your residence today or your commercial building that you're going to have to change it immediately. So that's not the law. What the law is stating is that us as manufacturers can no longer manufacture those appliances with thermal efficiencies below 95 or 96% once we get to October 6th of 2026. So basically, if the industry will still have some of that equipment in stock, perhaps at distributors, contractors, they could still install it. It's just for us as a manufacturer, we have to stop producing that October 6th of 2026.
Right. So I'm sure there'll be some supply on the shelves, but basically, by late 2026, it's just not going to be accessible at all. So what does that mean? Now what's going to be the implications of this to the industry?
Yeah, great question again. Certainly it's going to, change the way that we heat water in a lot of commercial buildings, certainly. You could have a commercial gas-fired storage type system, basically a tank with a burner integrated in it. We offer those types of products, or hot water supply boiler, perhaps, where you've got a hydronic heating boiler or a domestic water heater paired with a storage tank. Both of those systems are all going to be affected by this. Basically, what you'll have to do is to get new gas-fired equipment for a retrofit or new construction. The product will have to meet that new DOE standard of 95%. Obviously, what the DOE is trying to do is increase energy efficiency, reduce carbon footprint, all things that are great for the environment, but there's some real challenges to putting these systems in as a one-for-one replacement from a non-condensing or standard efficiency product.
Okay, so I'm going to ask you, it's probably a dumb question because I think I know the answer, but I'm in New York City and I've got a lot of commercial water heaters in the basement of a 20, 30, 40-story building. How do they vent this now?
Great question there. And that's honestly going to be one of the biggest challenges, Greg. It's certainly a market like New York City where the vent could obviously run up 30, 40, 50, 60 stories in a commercial building. Basically what this standard is doing is pushing gas combustion equipment into the condensing category. That's the only way you're going to achieve those 95+% efficiencies. And all condensing products, regardless of manufacturer, are going to require stainless steel vent or perhaps polypropylene vent, maybe PVC, depending on the manufacturer. So that's probably honestly the number one challenge in these larger commercial buildings. How are you going to vent it? You can no longer use that standard B vent or masonry chimney that you're basically using today. So that's going to be a real big challenge moving forward.
It's going to be a monster challenge. So, I mean, not only is condensing equipment just generally more expensive, but then you add the venting equation into it as well. I mean, I could tell you, and I'm sure you've experienced this too, countless times that, I mean, people are looking for any way possible to not have to do the venting. That tends to be the thorn in people's sides.
Absolutely, Greg. And, certainly in certain municipalities, you could sidewall vent high efficiency equipment. Not sure local codes will dictate that or not. I believe you guys got some challenges with that in New York City in particular. But what this is also going to do is perhaps drive people to electrification. Looking at different technologies where, hey, we're using natural gas to heat the domestic water today. Are there ways that we could do that perhaps with a resistance electric heater or perhaps a heat pump water heater? So some of those emerging technologies will start coming in more to play in the commercial world because of this DOE change.
Right. Okay. Yeah, makes a lot of sense. And I asked you before, maybe, I don't know if is this gas only? Is that this is affecting?
Yep. Natural gas or propane. So it's only a gas-fired combustion standard. Yes.
Got it. Okay. All right. So, all right. Talk to me. What are the solutions that Laars wants to or suggests to do?
Another, great question. We're positioned fairly uniquely where currently today we do make standard efficiency products that we've been known for. We've been building them since the 40s. However, as a full line manufacturer, we've already got gas condensing high efficiency products available. Products like the Neotherm XTR and the Magatherm product in particular both fit into this category and exceed that 95% efficiency standard. On the gas side, we've got you covered. If you wanted to look at electric, we've got electric resistance heaters already as part of the portfolio. And we've also got domestic water heat pump water heaters available as well for large commercial buildings. So uniquely positioned to address these concerns in the marketplace, regardless of whether you want to stick with natural gas or take a look at some electric options, perhaps.
Right. Okay. Yeah. So those are definitely the direction that so Laars is prepared for the ultimate thing that let's say the DOE is looking to do, but I think you and I talked about another solution that I think solves the problem also. This may be the sneaky way of doing it, right?
Yeah.
So this affects water heaters, not boilers.
Correct.
All right. So let's explain where we're going with that.
Yeah, no, another great opportunity to consider. Perhaps you've got a gas-fired appliance today heating your potable direct water. Another alternative is to look at indirectly heating that domestic water for space or for potable water as well with a closed loop system, basically installing a hydronic heating boiler with either a plate and frame or high efficiency capacity indirect heater in these commercial applications. Because like you mentioned, hydronic heating boilers are not affected by this standard. The big benefit to looking at this would be obviously you don't have to replace the flue or the venting on it. You can still vent with your standard 84% standard efficiency boiler through that same flue that you're using today. It would just mean you'd probably have to add that additional component of a plate and frame heat exchanger or a high performance indirect to meet the capacities in the commercial world.
Right. Yeah. I could imagine that being so maybe indirectly the DOE may just increase the sales of atmospheric boilers.
Yeah, as a result of this.
All right. Well, so before I want to maybe recap this, but I'll recap it, and then you tell me if there's anything that I missed. Okay.
Fair enough.
So as far as my understanding goes, again, just about a year from now, October 2026, commercial. What defines commercial? That was a big question I wanted to ask.
No, good one. Because the way the Department of Energy defines commercial is a little different from the industry, the way that industry folks describe it. Typically in the industry, commercial is defined as 300,000 BTUs and above. However, this law with the Department of Energy actually drops that threshold down to 80,000 BTUs. So anything above 80,000 BTUs and above is applicable to this new 95% standard.
That's unreal. That's so. I mean, just basically everything is qualifies. I mean, other than your small little residential tank type water heater. I mean, anything once it becomes even light commercial. So if you have a big residence, right away you're getting affected by this.
Yep, absolutely. Right.
Unbelievable. Okay, so again, as a recap, October 2026, the manufacturers can no longer manufacture any kind of commercial 80,000 BTUs and up gas or propane type water heater. It has to be, was it 85 or 86% efficient?
The new standard is 95%. So that's anything under 90. Different manufacturers have different capacities today, anywhere between 84 to 86, but everyone will have to be at 95 above, effective October 26.
Got it. Okay. So yeah, everyone will have to be over 95 or higher. Manufacturers can't manufacture anything. If someone has something around, they can use it, but manufacturers can't manufacture it any longer. The solutions are going to be high efficient equipment. It's high efficient water heaters. It's going to be heat pumps, electrification, resistive heating, or doing a traditional atmospheric boiler with an indirect water heater. Does that sum it up?
Yeah, absolutely, Greg. I think you nailed it all.
All right, perfect. And conveniently, Laars has all those things. I think, I generally scope it as about 50,000 BTUs up to 4 million BTUs, categories 1, 2, 3, and 4. That's in your boilers and water heaters. You've got electric boilers that, in terms of resistance, I'm not even sure the range, to be perfectly honest, just because electric resistance isn't a major product in this industry or this territory.
Yeah, in New York City, you're not very popular, but still, it may become more popular moving forward.
Yeah. And then in terms of the heat pumps, we have the eTherm at 325,000 BTUs. That's a really wonderful product. You have indirect water heaters. You've got the plate and frame. As you mentioned, you got the tanks. You got it all. And then on the wrath side of the equation is, hopefully everyone who watches is aware of us. So, we help in everything from the sizing of the system to going out and assessing the building that you have, making sure that everything gets installed properly. We have something called a concierge process, which just basically means that it's a proactive support system as your project starts moving forward. If it's a new construction, we'll go through everything through and through to make sure that the equipment that's on the plans actually even just makes sense. When it actually gets purchased, we will meet the contractor on site to go through the installation with them to, again, just make sure that they understand the idiosyncrasies of our equipment. Because I like to say I want them to pipe it once, I want them to wire them once. I don't want them to go through this 1,000 times. Again, it's a proactive support system where we're there 3, 4, 5, 6 times, however many times is necessary to make sure that it just goes as smooth as possible. So I think that between John and Laars and Rath, we got the New York City market covered at least.
Agreed.
All right, cool. Anything else we got to touch on?
No, I think that sums it up. Like I said, appreciate the time today, jumping on the podcast and trying to help make people aware of this. It's not happening tomorrow. We've got some time, but once again, as we all know, time flies when you're having fun. So we'll be in October of 26 before we know it.
Got that right. Well, I appreciate it, John. Thanks for coming on, and I'll see you next time.
Excellent. Thanks, Greg. Have a great day.
All right. Bye-bye.